We hot right now. Live back at it. League podcast. 27. We're just gonna jump it off. Not even gonna play no more games. 27. Talking about the draft. Talking about beta just a little bit. Cliff Notes versions. Um, I got the one and only Mister used to be LSU, but he left for greener pastures. He said the crawfish boil wasn't enough. He wants to get back to the beef brisket. Bag, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Loving this beta right now, so excited for the future out here. Hey, Troy, when you get a minute, can you send me the link? I'll post it.
I got you.
Appreciate you.
You're,
Doing good,
and then
man.
you know him, you love him. He left the South for the North. He said he got tired of Myrtle Beach. He got tired of Charlotte. He ain't want no more of your grandma's cooking. He went up north where the snow was at. Wanted to be by the Great Lakes. You know him, you love him. Fries, what's going on, boss?
What's up, man? Happy to be back. A lot of things to talk about. Short time to do it, so ready to roll.
Yes, sir. We'll just start off real quick with the draft before we hop into 27. Go to the bulletin board. Top 10, Dalton, Oregon. Finesse took Ohio State. Chuck took the home team, Bama. Bogey took the home team, Texas. Dane took Georgia with the trade from Bag. Bag traded back to take A&M. Bumble took LSU. I took Notre Dame. Mace took Miami. Bag is Tam, Texas A&M at 9. And J. Roth with Ole Miss at number 10. Bag, how you feel about the first 10?
I think the first 10, went kind of. I don't think anybody really dropped out of that 10. Besides maybe Indiana, who I was expecting someone to take. I think the main staples all got taken right there.
Gotcha. Fries, how'd you feel about the top 10?
I think Ole Miss a mild surprise at 10, but I see the vision. Otherwise, like Bag said, pretty expected. Dalton getting the first pick, getting Oregon is league definitely on notice a little bit, man. That's kind of scary because Oregon can do some stuff.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, that Oregon team should be super loaded. I think the best teams, in my opinion, out of the gate, without seeing the full roster, but seeing the top 100, Miami and Oregon are probably the top two teams by far, and Ohio State is maybe like somewhat of a close third. But I feel like it's really like Oregon and Miami are the best teams, and then it's like Ohio State, Georgia, you know, Texas are kind of like that next group. But that Miami team and Oregon both have like 6, 7 dudes who are above 90 overall, and it's like quarterback, running back, wide receiver, edge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so they should be ridiculous.
Yes, sir. Um, Moving out of the top 10, we'll go 10 through 15 or 10 through 20. OG took USC. Titans took the home team, Penn State. Cole was able to come up on maybe a recruiting monster. Clemson. Mile reached. Maybe, maybe not. For Texas Tech. Um, Worm took Indiana. Frowls got a heck of a pick at 16 with Michigan. Heavy might have got an even better pick at 17 at Oklahoma. Tennessee fell to 18. Papa Burgundy with not necessarily a sleeper, but a team with some real potential in Washington. And Sue took Florida at 20. Fries, how you feel about 11 through 20?
I was upset. OG got USC. That was my number one team. I was talking to y'all behind the scenes, trying to get them. Didn't work out. Not shocked. It didn't work out, but uh, I thought Texas Tech. I didn't think it was that bad at the time. If the Fade is any indication, though, they didn't really get blessed like that as far as NILs. They didn't get a great shake just from what I saw, and that was kind of heavily banking on that to be, what put them over the edge. So curious how that plays out when the real game comes, and Washington at 19 for a good user. I think that's Bama user right for most of the year. Burgundy.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
yeah, I
Yep.
mean that's a really really good scoop. I think for him at 19, he can make some noise down there.
Yes, sir. Back, how you feel about the second third of the league?
Um, two things I'll definitely say is, having a good user at USC and OG, and then another good user with Papa Burgundy in Washington, kind of mucking up that Southern California pipeline. Because I think those two and maybe Oregon as well will have 5-star pipeline down there. Makes it really tough for guys that come into California. It's gonna be super competitive down there. So I think it's good that they're, looking at the league from the whole map. It's good because you don't want Oregon down there just completely destroying everybody. So there's going to be some comp there. LSU has a little workout there. So does Notre Dame. I think it's one of their best pipelines.
Yep,
I think Texas actually has a good pipeline in California as well.
they do.
Not that he's necessarily the best recruiter, but he said he's going to be super locked in next year. So it's good to see a bunch of users down there. I think Washington is a great school to build. It was in the last year's game. I don't think that'll change. That's a great pick by Papa Burgundy. Um, like you mentioned, the heavy pick, the Michigan going to Fryals is good. There's still a lot of great value here. I mean, I think Texas Tech and Clemson stick out to me as two schools that I probably wouldn't have taken in that uh in that range. I mean, maybe in that range, but closer to like maybe 19 or 20. Like, some of these teams that really slipped. I would have at 13, Clemson. I probably would have went with, of course, Indiana, Michigan, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Washington. I might have taken over Clemson. Probably BYU in this game coming up too. They're like the 13th best team in the game.
Hmm.
Compared to Clemson's, I think back of the 25, like 25, 30-ish. Um, Clemson does have really good pipelines again, I saw. So, that'll be a boost. But those two and the Florida one, I think, is one of the worst, probably the worst. But at least it's at 20, so I feel like you take it for vibes, and I can feel him on that. But you know, I mean, we'll get there, I guess. But like Mizzou sliding to 30, I would have liked Mizzou in this, maybe not 13 high, but 16 and back. Especially if you're not going to get like a powerhouse. I mean, he got Clemson, so it is a powerhouse in that sense. So there's that, but I don't know. Texas Tech. I don't know how I feel. They're not looking too good so far. So, but
They
solid
got
picks, man.
they
It's
got
tough
tier
with no
fours.
rosters.
They got tier fours in North and East Texas. They'll do okay.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I mean, but I don't know if I would have taken them as high as I did, or as high as they got taken. But it's hard with no official roster, and definitely not like an atrocious pick. I mean, we didn't see too many like really bad. I mean, I think Florida probably is a reach, big time reach, but not any like awful picks. So I think everybody will be okay.
Gotcha.
Kind of nitpicking.
Moving on through the last third of the league. Sincere took South Carolina at 21. Hopefully, the game is coded differently for South Carolina to actually be able to get better. Benji with the shocker pick, probably of the draft. Um, I might reserve that for somebody else. But took BYU, which I think is a really good pick. They got a good team coming in who had some real deliberation between FSU, Auburn, and UNC, and ended up with FSU, changing it up on us. Riz took Auburn. Zev traded back and got what could be a real quality pick at 25. NAL might not be the greatest, but decent pipelines at Kentucky. Zay got UCLA, also another good 5-star pipeline in South Carolina. So a little more congestion, but has the resources to at least compete. MLB with Louisville, nephew with University of Houston, which is right now, if I'm not mistaken, proposed to be a top 25 team coming into next year. I think they're around 18 ish. Um,
Mhm.
Footless took Colorado.
I think he trade, or I hope he trades out. I mean, there's still a lot of good teams. Once you see the rosters,
I
a
hear
lot of
you.
good teams you probably could take instead of Colorado.
Like he said, he's not looking for no approval, so like, I kind of just left it where it is. When I was like, "You sure you want to do that, man?" But the what might have been the steal of the draft at 30, Mizzou coming in with a possible top 2 or 3 rated to go in the draft running back with Missouri. Dame took SMU and Ill Will took Oklahoma State. Back, how you feel about the last third of the draft?
Oh, I mean, I think a lot of them made some really solid picks. Like, I mean, um, starting at 21, South Carolina, they'll be a fun team to play with Norris back. They got Dylan Stewart's back too, right at the edge. Nick Harbor, there's nothing you can do about the way they're going to put that speed and size together. He's going to be a good player in the game. So those are the three most important positions. You're going to have good players, so they'll be solid. Don't mind the pick. Probably the best tradition. If they're not coded weird, they should be like really solid. I think they could have maybe even slid up a little bit, but people are kind of nervous about how they were coded the last 2 years. BYU, great pick. I think that FSU pick is not a great one. They're going to have home field advantage, especially if you're winning, but it's going to be pretty tough to recruit there. I don't think they have any like super great pipelines. Could be wrong though. They got to have probably a purple pipeline somewhere, but Miami's going to be dominant. Florida's got better pipelines, and then of course you got Georgia and everybody else trying to come in there. So, and they're going to be really bad. But they do have home field advantage, probably decent. Some decent grades. So, but don't love the pick. They could have went unpicked for me, honestly.
Wow. Okay.
Um, Auburn solid. Kind of edging towards that FSU boat. Like this isn't last year's game. I don't know if they're going to be any good this year. Who's going to be at Auburn? But they are
They
SEC,
they brought a
so
lot
they're
of
probably
talent in from their coach. I can't remember who it was.
okay.
He brought
Yeah, and I mean
he brought the
they're an
talent
SEC
with him.
school, so I can kind of live with it, I guess. Kentucky, great pick. They got a bunch of transfers in. I wasn't that hip to them early, but Nick Anderson, C.J. Baxter, and more. So they'll have a high-powered offense. I like the UCLA pick. Another person to kind of muck that Southern California thing up. I mean, it's going to be hard to come in there and get you know, a lot of those good 4 stars out of California. There'll be plenty of them because it's going to be like, California's going to be down, UCLA is going to be down there as well, trying to, pick up the scrap. So I like that. That'll be a good build. Louisville's got a good team. Houston, you already talked about. We talked about Colorado situation, Mizzou situation. I don't know that much about SMU, but they're always good, and they're going to have good. They have really good pipelines too up there in North Texas, so they'll be making some noise, similar to UCLA. Like they'll be taking a lot of those scraps in Texas.
Yep.
So a lot of people trying to come into Texas, it's going to be rough, man, because heavy recruits.
Yeah.
Dame's a really good user from that limitless league, so I expect him to make a ton of noise, especially starting in Tier 3. I mean, there's a lot of people in Tier 3 this year, so it's going to be a dogfight down there to start with. But he'll be solid. Um, um, so yeah, good luck trying to come into Texas, especially if you're not already local. Because there's not going to be that many scraps left. And Oklahoma State, I like the pick, honestly. They're going to start out with that quarterback. Um, and Ill Wills is a great passer. At least he was in the last game. So he'll have basically a top minimum top like 6 quarterback in the game, right? So
Yep.
6 to 8. So have a real gunslinger out there, and I think it's a good fit for his play style.
Yep. Good home
So
field advantage too. For them to be,
yeah,
I don't even say a smaller school, but a school that doesn't have as high as prestige, they still have a pretty good home field advantage. So
Yep, and then he might be able to catch a rivalry game win against Heavy if he's doing his thing. So
Oh yeah,
he might be able to build that up pretty quick.
gotcha.
But yeah, tier three is going to be a dogfight. I mean, pretty much everybody down there besides Zev is going to be in tier three, or two. I think maybe Hoop is in two as well, but the rest of those guys are pretty much new. So man, tier three is this the league next year is going to be pretty tough. I mean, if all these guys stay and are active in it, I mean, there's a lot of like really good players hanging around.
Gotcha.
So
Froz, before we move on, right now there's a pretty big battle between the traditional powers. What state do you think is tougher? The Central Florida, South Florida area, or the North Texas, East Texas? Or we could even throw a third one in there, just Southern Cal. How would you rank those
Are you
three?
are you saying as far as like users, or as far as like what kind of competition you're talking about? Repeat
Yeah,
now.
just as far as like users go, and then like the amount of talent produced. So I know that's one thing I take into consideration is like pipeline congestion. South Florida, Central Florida, great pipelines, but you have to think almost every major school in the SEC, not in Florida, has a 4 or 5 tier pipeline in Central Florida, South Florida. So Florida is
Yeah,
at a disadvantage because that's really their main pipelines, even though they're in Florida. So like stuff like that. How would you rank those 3 pipelines?
I agree. It's gonna be tough for Florida. Sue's in a tough spot. I think. He took them. I like Florida too, but when you take a step back and really think about it, he's got to compete with just so many different really good recruiters too. Like it's gonna be tough. His school alone's at kind of a disadvantage, and then like who also is recruiting against him that are historically really good recruiters are gonna put the time in. It's not looking great. It's not looking great. Um, for Texas, Texas is tough too. Bud got to show me something though. I'm not gonna lie. I need to see him actually locked in recruiting from the start, because otherwise, we know Bag will take all of that for
I was
sure.
thinking the same thing. I was like,
So
if
we, we
if
we
they
need
aren't
it as a
ready,
league. We need that. I'm begging. Please recruit.
yeah, Mumbo too. Like if y'all aren't on it, East Texas, North Texas, about to be a runaway train, and it's only so much ill will can do, just based off school grades alone. So, I'll,
y'all really disrespecting my guys Heavy and Maul right now. Like they're formidable
no, I'm not saying.
recruiters
Well, I'm just saying we know you're going to be lab and recruiting.
for sure.
So, like the fact that I know you're already like, okay, how does this work? As far as thinking about recruiting, it's just like it could be a slippery slope if all those guys aren't. I'm not saying they're not. Just saying it's possible for it to get out of hand.
I mean, hopefully it does. Honestly, we need everything we can get. So. But yeah. Um, sorry, I didn't let Ross finish do what he was going to
Nah,
say there.
that's about it. I'm right. That's I have what I said. What I said.
Gotcha. Um, there's still teams out there. Bag. Do you want to talk about if there are unclaimed teams versus somebody that's drafted? If they're able to switch.
Yeah, I mean, all things are kind of fair game. You can trade with somebody, their team, if that's what you're trying to do. I'm sure people aren't too attached. Um, and also, yeah, if there's an open team, you can feel free to take them. Um, Before we start, you can just say, hey, in main chat, like, hey, I'm switching to this or that, and just claim them. Just that simple. So it looks like some of the top teams remaining. I mean, Iowa's is a top 20 team in the game off rip that nobody wanted to take, but they should have a pretty good team. And also, Arizona is going to have, a top 10 quarterback with, not bad pipeline situation. I think they have some type of pipeline in Texas as well as in California and obviously Arizona. So, that's not a bad situation either. And then, we all had, well, you and another one that came up twice was Virginia Tech. Um, we saw in the grind, I mean, they were dominant in terms of pipeline and talent available in the grind. So, they should probably be the same easy build there. And TCU was another one that we mentioned, and they're right in the heart of Texas with some good pipelines. Obviously competitive there, but still, kind of a good problem to have, I think. So, there's some good teams out there. People, especially once they see the rosters, if you want to switch, it's all good to me.
Gotcha. Since we've gone through the draft already, and I don't know if anybody's much had time to go through the beta at all. Right now, if you got a major program, and I'll let Max speak to this just a touch. I know you haven't dug into it. Ain't no excuse between
Oh yeah.
NIL and the amount of recruiting hours. I know it's just a beta. I bag if I'm you, I'm not taking not one. It's the team.
Oh yeah. I mean, all things, one, the gameplay seems to be a little bit better to where you can't. It seems like for now, at least, that it's a lot. Some of the biggest exploits are going to be able to. You're going to be able to counter them. And then recruiting wise, it's really just going to come down to strategy because I mean, you're going to have NIL. It seems like there's going to be speed and talent, 4 stars, 3 stars. Um, and you're going to have points and you're going to have NIL. And so, I mean, you should be able to handle business kind of with whatever situation you're in to have some talent. I mean, obviously, the Georgias and the Ohio States and the Oregons have an advantage. However, with the NIL and management, man, like they can one screw themselves over pretty easily, and two just flat out not have the resources to get some good players who are underneath the 5-star guys. So, yeah, it's got to be able to have a good blueprint as they're using the term, and you should be able to do some good things no matter where you're at. Except Colorado, maybe that shit. I don't know.
That's who we wanted though. That's
More power to them.
I hope he does well.
Mm-hmm.
Hope he does well. Froz, have you had a chance to hop on the beta at all?
Very lightly. I went through just some recruiting stuff and played a little bit in practice mode, which it does seem different. It does seem different. I can't really pinpoint too much right now, but you can tell there's some changes made. I saw with catching there's something different. I can't really I don't know exactly what it is, but
Yeah, someone was
it
talking
feels
about that in the
different.
chat.
Yeah, it feels different for sure.
Are you using the new catch meter or no?
Yeah, it's in right now. I think my default setting was that, I believe. So I know I tried a conservative catch one and they gave me like a weird animation and some kind of message. So I gotta see what that was.
Yeah, like at this point you're kind of 2K-ish, trying to green catches at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always down. If there's a skill gap with something like user input, I'm always down. So we'll see if there is. I haven't tried the playmaker. I should have checked that like first. I want to see what playmaker's looking like right now, but didn't think to do it. So
Did they say anything about playmaker in the note? I didn't get to read that. I haven't seen any of the deep dives or anything. So
No, no. I assume they got a little AI into it. They got zones.
Mhm.
Um, will look for work now. So even if your dudes are
yeah,
zone dropped, they will kind of try to find work as they're coming in or crossing their zone.
that is
Great.
so fire.
That's great. Yeah.
Uh, if you know your match rules, it's a nerd's paradise right now because you can set your match rules for cover three, cover four palms, stuff like that.
Yeah, I have to really like learn that even better, honestly, because it's getting to the point where you really got to like know football, or else you're gonna be left behind.
Yes, big time.
Which is fire, I think. I mean, I think it's a good thing. For real.
Yeah,
Less
I
gimmick
mean,
stuff, more like actual football principles. It's good.
Let's see if I can find it.
Trying to see this playmaker, like I can't even set it up while I'm kind of running on right now. Let me see.
it's a little bit.
I don't even know if playmakers changed. So
Nah, it don't feel the same right now. I'll tell you that. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but it feels a little bit off.
One thing I've definitely noticed is that the quarterbacks don't. Well, maybe my quarterback's just buns, but he's way slower to get out of the pocket.
yes, they
Like
are. But I
way
will say
way slower.
this
How do I
game
motion this dude in? Oh, all right. They changed the button for that.
this game allows you to step up in the pocket so much better.
True.
It allows you to
Playmaker's the same, also. Just it's. I mean, it feels. I had to get some plays that would allow me to playmaker, but I don't see any delay or any switch. So
yeah. So just
Yeah.
if you're in the stream, you could probably see this. The smart zones were in the deep dive. I should probably actually be streaming to this.
But if there's smart zones, then essentially playmaker might not be as effective because the zones will see him and like move.
Uh,
yeah,
Zones improve zone defender awareness reaction logic. Goal was simple. Zone defenders need to play better football intelligence, understand situation, route depth, spacing when their original area no longer has a threat. You can set it to these um, different settings. Aggressive, you could put the zones on aggressive. Zone defenders will prioritize shorter routes when threatened. This is better for taking away the quick game, but can open up deeper windows behind them. Balanced traditional zone behavior. They won't cheat too short or deep. Conservative, give more cushion, prioritize deeper threats. Ultra aggressive, defenders jump underneath routes hard, high risk, high reward. But if you know your opponent wants quick game, dangerous if they hit you over the top. Ultra conservative, defenders gain extra depth to carry vertical, built to keep the ball in front of you. The look for work, when defenders clear zone, when a defender's zone clears out, he does not just stand there guarding grass. He starts looking for the next threat and works to help coverage. The big one is plaster. When plays extended, defenders can attach to nearby receivers instead of staying locked into an empty space. This helps against scrambling quarterbacks and broken play throws.
That's
fire.
fire. That basically will work against playmaker.
So,
It
um,
should.
red zone
In theory.
awareness, improve zone spacing near the goal line, and then focus lets you lean deep coverage towards a specific receiver if there's one guy you cannot let beat deep. So hopefully
Any
that focus one will be good for.
any patch notes on QB contain? Or note, not patch, but any notes on QB contain?
Um, so I haven't ran anything, but there's a setting like a quick adjustment that allows you to contain the quarterback. And what it'll do, it'll put your defensive ends in a contain and also automatically put one of your middle linebackers in a QB spy.
Okay.
Is that thing they said was going to be in the game where if you like consistently call the same hot routes for a play, they'll essentially like preset the play to that. So like even if you're on the road, if it's just a play that you always run a certain way, it'll just come out as that.
Yes, you can do that. No, it doesn't do it automatically.
Okay.
They were talking about it. It's you get up to 10 on. You can set up to 20, but I think you can go into a game with 10 on each side of the ball.
It's still pretty dope.
So if you
That's actually so fire for like a lot of these blitzes where it's like you want to call a blitz and like set up cover 6 behind the blitz. Which is something I like to do, but you don't usually have that much time for it. But it's like if the blitz is going to automatically do that, it's going to be some nasty blitzes out there.
Yep. It's gonna be they were big on wide receiver DB interactions where leverage makes a big difference.
Yeah, I've seen on a few throws that normally you make one, the quarterback won't just throw them like perfect all the time. Well, maybe it's because my quarterback isn't that good, but it seems like the DB can win a lot more.
Yes. For those that haven't played the beta, the timing on routes is different. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but it's
On a lot, yeah. Like you can't like I used to be able to just throw like instant like if you timed it to throw perfectly just on the break. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're if you just this is the break and I'm just throwing it like immediately like at the break, borderline before the break, but like technically no, I'm throwing it like right at the break. You can't just do that anymore on some of these routes because like, if you do that and depending on the leverage, it's just like an auto pick. Like they don't get that like I ran under the DB who was to the inside bullshit.
yeah.
Like the DB who's to the inside on that break is going to stay there and pick that up now.
So, that's
which is good.
The QB sneak
You said that's
meter.
in Madden?
No, yeah, that's in Madden too. That's in both. QB sneak meter. There's a QB sneak meter for when you call it. I don't think the defense can see it, but it's a bar that'll pop up depending on who's head up over the center, who's head up over the guard, and then it takes into account your run block ratings and strength, and you try to green it to see if you can get the yard.
That's good too. QB sneaks aren't just guaranteed. I mean,
No,
sounds like they're doing a really good job out here. Like
yeah.
That change with the defensive formation, do we know?
I think it does depend on like the gap
Yes,
integrity.
it does.
I'm thinking
On the string, they spread the line, and the green meter got much bigger. They condensed it back to a goal line formation, and the green window got small again.
That's fire.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tush Push made it to college football, but it's in Madden. So
we don't need that, but
well,
I'm doing the sneak now, like so fire.
So
that's
you're gonna have to sacrifice taking that exact playbook to get that one play. That's why I like no custom, because it's like, bro, if you're gonna try to find the one play that does something, you're sacrificing that the rest of the playbook might be BS.
Yeah. What else? Dynamic weather is in the game. Don't know if you had a chance to play Madden last year, but if you haven't, like I played a dynamic weather game today against a CPU and got a sack because the quarterback slipped on his drop back. So, just
I mean, I can tell in my game it wasn't raining like it is like it is now. But I also am really liking like, and once again, this could be because my quarterback's not that good, but when there's pressure in a QB's face, they aren't just accepting the pressure and just throwing a perfect ball. Like, I mean, if a dude's wide open, they'll throw a catchable one, but like you're not having a dude right in your face. Why is it this motioning thing though? Is I guess just that button. I got to get used to that. But you're not gonna have a dude right in your face and just throw a perfect right in his hands in front of the man who's at his hip, secure catch. Like, no, like you're risking that's like as it should be, somewhat of a risky throw.
I like the pocket movement you called out earlier too. You could tell, at least this quarterback I'm using, he steps up very well, and I can actually feel like I maneuver in the pocket again. 25, it felt great. I could like climb the pocket, find little gaps and stuff. This one, we'll see. I think it's better than 26 for sure.
Yeah. 16 new defensive formations. If you were complaining before, ain't no need to complain now.
Well, they got that
There's
335 penny high. Oh, 335 penny
yeah,
or
that
whatever it is.
I don't know why
That
they
one is
took
nasty.
so long to bring that over from Madden, but it's
Yeah.
here and it's nice. I think there's 31 playbooks, like defensive playbooks now versus there was only like
Yeah.
11.
And really last year, I mean, maybe like 4 max were playable,
Yeah,
in my opinion. I mean,
but any anything else y'all want to
I just
talk
caught a
about
crazy,
quickly?
crazy tipped catch. That was fire. No, I mean, not too much. I mean, I kind of want to watch this game, so, I'm going to be.
Mm-hmm. On the league part of it, anybody got any just thoughts?
Oh, we forgot the podcast mail. Let's touch on that.
Yeah.
Um, Dalton says, who do you think will be the best in-game recruits in next year's freshman class? Easy to look at the 5 stars, but any sneaky ones that are superbly athletic or have freak gifts about them. I know, I forget his name. His name's like Legend or something like that. The one Ohio State recruit supposed to be a monster. I think he's like a high 4 star, but he's supposed to be like super explosive, gadget, Percy Harvin ish kind of guy. It was a big recruiting thing where Ohio State took him from Tennessee at the last minute. I think he actually had signed to Tennessee, but he was like under 17. His parents were trying to make him go to Tennessee. It was a whole fiasco.
Oh,
And
that
he
was that
turned
dude.
18. Yeah. Yeah. And he turned 18 and like
Changed
signed
Ohio
over to
State.
Ohio State. Uh, but yeah, he's that's one I can think off the top of my head. I don't know any more in particular.
You're talking
I
about
do know
like
you
incoming freshmen, right? Like dude for in the game right now.
who are gonna be in the game, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a few who I saw, get mentioned, and I was just doing research on teams in general. I know USC's got a big class coming in.
Yeah.
It should be good. That Ohio State receiver should be good. Uh, uh,
Chris Henry.
so that's 2 receivers at Ohio State who should be good. Ohio State receivers aren't going to be that good because they're some of their underclass dudes went to Notre Dame basically. Um, as in Otto Porter or not Otto Porter, what's his name? Quincy Porter. Um, and Miles Graham, I know, went to Notre Dame, and that was like the next 2 guys were supposed to step up, kind of to replace Carnell Tate, potentially. So they left Notre Dame, but they did get like the number 1 recruit who's looks like a absolute freak. Is like a 6'5" monster. So I'm sure he'll be pretty decent in the game.
He
Um,
should be, bro. He's crazy.
Yeah, they said he was dominating spring ball too, so I'm sure I would be surprised if he's not like an 80.
A little bit
Um,
I'm more upset that it's Chris Henry's son. I feel old, feel like an old man, bro. But
Chris
you know,
Henry, who's Chris Henry?
receiver for the Bengals passed away. And like it probably been like 15 years now. It's been a minute.
Dang, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, but this is his son, which is I'm just a real old ass dude, man. It's a terrible feeling, but it's what it is.
Yeah, no, he's a super pro. I mean,
Sorry.
having all those weapons at Ohio State is going to be, especially with saying there's going to be probably at least a 90, 91 at quarterback, and Bo Jackson at running back is going to be like a 9. I mean, our Ohio State team's going to be loaded. Um, and then Auburn said, "This is interesting. Can the amount of user games played in a season or previous seasons be considered when determining a fair sim moving forward? Some users are firm in their personal schedule, which is understandable, but if it starts to lead to more games not being played than played, at what point is it a problem? Then there is my real issue with the ambiguous ass communication and scheduling some users provide when trying to get a game done." What do y'all think about that?
I hear him. I hear him. There's a couple repeat offenders. I feel like who dudes feel like they're kind of itching for either a fair sim or a force win and don't really want to play. And whether that's true or not, it's not for me to determine. But I think if dudes like all season or throughout the NCAA are hard to schedule with, I mean, when you ask us to vote, I usually lean toward a dude who's been available. It is case by case, but if it's kind of close and there's one dude who every week plays his games, goes out of his way to play his game at all times of the day, then I'm gonna give him the benefit personally. So I think it's already baked in a little bit.
Well, I mean, he doesn't feel like it's already baked in. So, I mean, is there any way we could maybe improve on that in particular? I mean, I do feel like, some people, for example, like just he posed the question, but for example, Auburn can only play at like 9 o'clock at night, which isn't like super unreasonable. And I feel like he gets a lot of his games in. However, there are other people who, work a different schedule completely and can't really play as many games. I feel like a lot of times, a lot of people have small windows. Is my point. It's like if it's not a weekend, it's like Auburn in particular, he's going to work until 9 o'clock at night. Okay, so like let's say Terrell, for example, Terrell's going to
Yep.
be off the game by like 8 o'clock at night. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Like I gotta
Like
be
so,
starting that last game by 8:30.
but so like they both have like only like a 3 or 4 hour window. Chucky is another one who has a pretty tough schedule in general because he's only free like after midnight. Um, and then like like during normal work hours beforehand. Um, so it's a little bit tough to. I mean, I agree that like when it comes down to like community, like is this forced to win fair sim type thing, I always lean to the person who's typically more available. But I think Chucky's probably the most extreme case. But like Hoop, for example, is another one who like usually can play like super late at night and not during the day. J Ross the same thing, unless he's either during working hours or like super late.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people, there's only a few people really who have just like a ton of time, it seems like, or it seems like they can kind of at least make time, like if you're communicating well with them, they can make time at like a few different points to where it works out. I feel like a lot of people have like small windows, so it's kind of hard to like
No.
make a rule or structure per se. Um,
If you have a second, check the chat. That's one of in another league that I'm in. Like they broke down what is scheduling because I feel like we get a lot of that in here as well, though. Like you'll make the channel and not as bad in this one, but I know in the other leagues they'll just be like, "Hit me up" or like, "Win." Like,
That also that specifically that makes me very, I don't know what it is about that,
like don't.
but bro, don't just tag me and be like yo, or like just be like I'm free from these times. That bothers me so much. Like we're all grown, we have jobs. I think everybody has a job, or at least is professional in some sense. Like it takes like 5 seconds to just be like, yo, I'm free this time. When you free? That's all you got to say instead of
well,
just like yo, or like that drives me crazy.
especially the dudes who don't schedule well. Like, I mean, sometimes, but I mean, I'm usually, I mean, I haven't recently, things have been kind of kicking up for me a little bit, but in general, like, I have a pretty flexible schedule, so I feel like I have a little bit more leeway to be like, yo, what's up? Or what's the word? Because a lot of times I have more free time than other people.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side of that, there's a lot of people who don't have that much free time or seem to make it difficult to get their games played who come in there and say like, yo, or even worse, one person says yo, they wait 8 hours, and the other person says yo back.
Yeah,
Facts.
that's.
So
It's
true.
like, it's like, bro, like, let's be serious.
Can I
I
say something
definitely
real
think
quick?
what you posted in here is great. I mean, I might just add that to the 20. Like, I made the 24-hour rule now, so it's like if you don't say nothing by 24 hours, da 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 da. But
Before
or
you finish,
immediately best case is fair. Oh, you said
saying
what'd you say? Go ahead.
yo is not communication. That does not
I agree.
start the 24 hours. Just because you say yo 10 minutes after they post a channel doesn't mean anything. And then when
Yep.
somebody else says something, you're like, well, I was available. How are we supposed to
Right.
know? It's okay
Exactly.
to have a small window if you communicate it.
Exactly. I mean, it's like it's so annoying sometimes when people will be like, someone will send a message and say, "Well, this is on both sides for this," but like recently there was a game where one person said "yo," on one day, let's say like right at sim, they basically said like, yo, and the other person didn't respond until like the 20-hour mark and basically was like, yo, I'm free tomorrow. And then the first person then goes and says, oh, I wish you were free like today slash yesterday because I'm not free tomorrow. It's like, why would you not just include that in your first message that I can only play today. Like during this sim, I can only play today. Then and the dude said that and like, they're both kind of wrong because the second dude like took forever to respond in the first place. But it's like the dude said that he's like, well, if you would have told me that you could only play yesterday, I would have like made it
Made
more of a
something
priority to
happen.
play you
Yeah.
yesterday. You know what I mean? So I think these rules, I think I definitely could. There's a bunch of tweaks rule wise. There's a lot of things coming to the league in general, but I think I think what you sent here can definitely be some things that we add to the 24-hour rule to just make it more clear cut, so it becomes less of like, don't sit up here and argue with me all day, which is what people also love to do when once I then say, oh, it's a fair sim,
And then they're
or
like,
God forbid a
how?
force win. Now,
How?
now you're going to send 45 messages in 1 hour, but you couldn't send 3 messages in 3 days like before this. So
I
I
also like how we
definitely
have
think,
a good. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say good user base now. So I mean, we want everybody who can, who's active, but consistently don't schedule your games. We got somebody for you. I'm sorry, we do. It's in a respectful way, but it's just how it
100%.
goes, man. Handle business or
And I mean, honestly,
whatever.
and to be fair, too, just to finish this off, I do want to say, there are a lot of dudes with tight windows in our league, but they, in general, for the most part, do play most of their games. Whether it's frustrating in a certain moment for some guys or not, like whether you end up getting a sim in a big game and for you, but I mean, dudes in here in general get their games done or they get booted. But I do think that I do like what you sent, Terrell, and I do think I'm gonna implement a lot of this into like having like just defined things to where it now puts pressure on dudes to actually like do it.
To communicate, like, hey, the rules are right here. Did you follow them or not? I don't.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. So you can stop blowing me up about it.
and then
Uh,
J Roth asks, what good does keeping practice mode injuries on do for the league in 27? Like, seriously, how bad of an idea is that? Does nothing positive for anybody. As someone who uses free practice, you're clearly not on the beta because that's not how it works.
yeah, I mean, J-Rosh is being annoying, which he does really well, but yeah, he obviously didn't read or understand what's going on there because that's not what's going on. You can set it, but I'll let him figure it out. We've never been like an injuries off league, turning down the wear and tear, doing all this soft stuff. Like, look, man, it's football. Dudes are gonna get injured. We don't sim injuries. At least, I mean,
There's some
I
leagues
think
that
that is
don't turn
definitely.
sim injuries off when you go to sim. They leave them on and
They're
be
def-
like, deal with it.
Yep, I mean it's football, but um, we at least do that, which I think is fair. But in terms of like having a whole game feature that the game wants, that'd be like some leagues turn wear and tear off, which I think is so dumb because it's like you're allowing people to basically have these players who are really good and then do ridiculous things with them and get beat up all game and so just be still 99 speed after that. Like that's not how football works. That's not how a season works. Wear and tear is in the game for a reason to balance the things that people are capable of in this game. And nah,
How about this?
uh,
If y'all are
Lou
so
said
concerned about it, there's the setting where you could just have nobody practice.
exactly. Like just do that. Just don't get your XP. It's cool. Like I mean, I'll probably be doing a lot of that. I'm not taking -1 speed on my best players for that. But Georgia said it might turn off injuries and negate the practice injuries. Nah, I don't think it will because we only turn it off for the practice sim. If you've been playing the beta, if you had a chance to play the beta,
Happens before the game,
you
I'm pretty
it
sure.
happens before the game starts. So practice happens before the game starts. So once the game happens, it turns it off. But if it's a CPU game against uh if it's a CPU game that you are going to take a force win in, then yeah, maybe it might affect that situation in particular. But if it's a user game, practice is locked before the game starts. So, but yeah, we don't have any other questions.
Watch this game, bro. Hopefully, get another classic. That's what I'm on.
Yeah, I'm about to lock into that too, man.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Brunson, real quick, very quick. Where y'all put Brunson in the league? Like top what overall?
I'd have to look at a list of all the players, but he's got to be up there. I mean, top 10 easily. Right.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Saw some crazy takes about him, and really only because he's short. The only take was he's not tall. Like,
he's an absolute fucking getter. I mean,
yeah, bro. All right, I'm glad we're on the same page. Cool. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be the best point guard in the league at this point in time. I mean,
yeah.
So, well, I mean, I don't know if you can.
Is Shea a point guard?
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't know if he's like necessarily better than Shea. So let me take that back. Let me walk that back. I still wouldn't say he's better than Shea.
Is Shea
and I wouldn't
a real point guard?
Absolutely. I mean,
no, not
he has
not
the ball the whole
sense.
game. Like, I mean, not a traditional point guard, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
like,
but there's no traditional point guards in the NBA these days who like, yeah. So
that if in today's game, then Allen Iverson might even be considered a point guard. Even though
in today's game, Allen Iverson is 100% a point guard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my point. That's kind of what I'm getting at. But
that's just, it's just what the point guard is now. So that's just what basketball is now. I mean, there's no that whole like John Stockton set this guy up. That's why there's no good shooting guards in the NBA, or very few who are just like elite shooting guards. Because anybody who's an elite shooting guard, or even a small forward who can dribble, and you're quote unquote elite, like you're not elite unless you can basically play point guard.
Facts.
So I mean, like if you look at the best shooting guards in the league, I mean, who's the best shooting guard in the league? I mean, probably Ant-Man, but like, I think that speaks to how there's not that many good shooting guards.
It's probably 3 or 4. Him, D-Book. You say that now, I'm struggling just to name shooting guards.
Yeah, like Book's shitty. I mean, Donovan Mitchell.
Wow.
Book's right there too. So like those three, and then like
Donovan. I mean, I guess technically, sure. I would just call him a point. To be honest, I mean, he has the right clutch, but I guess he's played with the Harden, so sure, you can call him a 2.
Yeah, in his case, I'll give it to him.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. I was asking. I ain't trying to take too much of y'all's time. I was just curious.
Yeah, but yeah, let me hop off of here, man. I'm about to go watch that game too.
All right, peace, fellas. Good little quick pod. Good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, nice work, fellas. Appreciate it.